Hello, Accelerated Math 6-7 students. We are in Module 4, and now we are starting Lesson 16. Lesson 16 is called Finding Solutions to Make Equations True. Finding Solutions to Make Equations True. So here we are with our iPad, and let's get that focused for you. Finding Solutions to Make Equations True. Our goal for today. Today we will give a value to the variable to find the solution of an equation. Question, how do you find a solution to an equation? So there are some things that you need to know in order to do this process. This is probably one of my most favorite lessons because I love solving for unknown values and variables. But some things to know are there are some steps that you can follow. The first step that's usually very, very helpful is if you identify the variable within your equation. Okay, and so we're looking at the equation, remembering that an equation is an equation if there is an equal sign present, and that means that it can be solved. So the first thing you have to do is you have to identify the variable. The second thing that you need to do is you need to determine what is happening to the variable itself. And then the third step is find the value that makes sense for the solution. All right, so I have some let's try it problems. So let's move this over here so that you can see them. The first one that I want you to take a look at, it says 4 to the third power equals y. So if we go through our steps that we just talked about above, the first thing that it told us to do was to identify the variable. The variable in this equation is the letter y. Y is the variable because it's the unknown amount. The second step says determine what is happening to the variable. So if we look at the variable right now, it's just telling us that this is equal to it. So that means they have to be the same. So what that tells my brain to do is it goes, oh, well, if these two have to be equal or they have to be the same, I know what 4 to the third power means. I know that 4 to the third power means that I have to take 4 times 4 times 4. So let me turn my paper over so that we can have some space. 4 to the third power equals 4 times 4 times 4. So I know that if I take 4 times 4, I get 16. Now I have to multiply it by 4 again, and when I do that, I get 64. So I now know, according to this equation up here, that y is supposed to equal whatever 4 to the third power means. Well, 4 to the third power equals 64, so y equals 64. Pretty simple, yeah? Okay, so now let's look at the next one. It says 8a is equal to 24. 8a is equal to 24. So going back to my steps, first thing I'm supposed to do is identify the variable. The variable is a. The second step says determine what's happening to the variable. Well, this time something is happening to the variable. It's being multiplied by a. So in my brain, I'm thinking a number times 8 that is equal or the same as 24. Oh, well, I know that because I know my math facts. The number that is multiplied by 8 to get to 24 is 3. So a must equal 3. So again, you're trying to figure out what the value is that will make sense in the equation. And that was pretty simple, wasn't it? Okay, if you know your math facts, these are pretty easy, aren't they? Okay, moving on to the next one. 32 equals g minus 4. Okay, so again, I'm supposed to find my variable and then tell what's happening to my variable. Well, my variable is g, and what it's saying is if I take 4 numerical values away from g, I'll get 32. So in my brain, I'm thinking what number minus 4 gives me an answer that's the same as 32, and the only thing that I can think of that will work is that it has to be 36, because when you take 36 and you subtract 4, you get 32, so g must be 36. So boys and girls, do you see how we're using common sense, the fact that we know our math facts, we know what numbers added together will give us, we know what numbers subtracted from each other will give us, and so basically we're just using our common number sense to figure out what these variables mean. All right, we have another one, okay? And so I'm actually not going to do this one for you because I want you to try it, but I want you to remember the steps. Identify the variable. Step 2 is find out what's happening to the variable and then figure out what could be a possible solution that makes sense to make the equation true. So you have 48 divided by r equals 12. You're going to do that one for me. And then you also have, this one's a little bit harder, but I think you can do it. The last one that I have for you is x times 1/5 equals 60. That one's pretty tricky too, so I want you to try both of those, and then when we get into class, we'll talk about it together. So again, my favorite lesson because we're actually doing some fun math. And so let's go back up to our goal. Our goal for today is today we will give a value to the variables to find the solution of the equation. Oops, you can't see it. Sorry, let me pull that down. Okay, today we will give a value to the variable to find the solution of an equation. We did that. And then the question is, how do you find the solution to the equation? Basically, the way that we do that is by following the 3 steps under the things to know. And that's all I have for you today. See you later. Bye.